Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
The next lecture of discussion is going to be managing competitiveness. So, if I wanted to define competitiveness according to dictionary is nothing but relating to, or we can talk about it is characterized by or based or on competition. Today the world is moving in a competitive world. So, everything whatever you produce has to be better, has to be the best. So, in that way managing competitiveness is a big challenge, and people should have clarity in this topic of competitiveness. Content. So, there are three contents which we will cover in this discussion: benchmarking, outsourcing, mass customization. Today we very well know all the products are moving towards mass customization. When we talk about mass customization, the batch size is going to be one product only. That means to say no two people will have a same product. They can have a similar product, but it will not be a same product. But today we have same products, people try to wear of different structures and different requirements. And outsourcing is one thing which is now picking up in a big way. People are looking at reducing the cost. So, reducing cost and reducing manufacturing lead time, manufacturing lead time. If they wanted to do this, people have started doing outsourcing. Today big companies are started going towards complete outsourcing and of parts and do only assembly at their company end, wherein which there is lot of trade secrets and strategies which has to be maintained so that the quality of the product is not sacrificed. So, in this we will see benchmarking, outsourcing and mass customization. What is benchmarking? Benchmarking is a way to go backstage and watch another company's performance from the wings, where all stage tricks and hurried realignments are visible. So, benchmarking means you are trying to compare with the other product and set his product specifications as standards for you and start trying to make exactly what he has made, and then you will try to put your specification such that you can make your product competitive to the existing product. Benchmarking means you are trying to refer it with a standard, and this standard is set by you, or you give a product specification like X, Y, Z. These are the specifications, and you will try to make your product to exactly those specifications. That is benchmarking, and the X, Y, Z specifications are another company's one. When you try to make your product to that X, Y, Z specification, now you will know, okay, how do I make it more competitive? Improve the specification X, Y, Z further and get it done. So, if you put it in a block diagram, what is our performance level? How do we do it? What are other performance levels? How did they get there? And this is what you will try to see go back and forth. What is ours, what is theirs, and then you try to put a creative adaptation. then that leads through breakthrough performance. So after you know where you are, you have seen whoever is successful in the market, and you also see how is he successful in the market, and then you put some creative adaptations, and after doing so there is a breakthrough performance. In benchmarking, there are two types of benchmarking. One is called as internal benchmarking, the other one is called as external benchmarking. Internal benchmarking are benchmarking which is happening within the factory, within and premises where the product is getting developed. That is internal benchmarking. Suppose what is happening, there are 3 stations in an assembly line, station 1, station 2, station 3. Okay, a conveyor belt keeps moving in this direction, and when the product gets assembled here and goes to station 2, they find out at station 2 there are lot of rejections or rework. So now what they do is they try to look why is this happening at this station 2. So the possibility can be the fixtures existing in this station is not up to the mark. 2, the input which is given to this station is not up to the mark. So input is produced by station 1. So now current specification can be this is current, and now what they do is they go for a revised one and then ask to meet this specification. So this is what is internal benchmarking. They find out and then they give a revised one, and this one will try to reduce the rejection here or rework here such that the line efficiency is improved in terms of quality. So this is internal benchmarking, and external benchmarking is you try to look at another similar product developed by some other company, find out what is the success and then start doing it. So that is external benchmarking. See, it is pretty interesting. I was running a short term course, and the course title was Product Design and Manufacturing. So I developed this course and I offered it as a short term course in a QIP mode, Quality Improvement Program, and AICTE colleges faculty members were invited. I did lot of homework. 6 months I have been working on this, gave enough of advertisement, reached out to more people, but ultimately when I ran this course I got only the 30 to 40 faculty participation in this course. So I went back, looked into what was my failure, and like me there are other faculty members who run a similar course, but it was very successful. So then I found out what is the secret they did and made their course more popular. Then I came back, revised my course, and then added some more USP to my course, and when I offered it on the next time, I got to see lot of success. I got 100 participants coming for my course. So that is external benchmarking. Okay, and so further distillation if you want to do in this, you can call it as process benchmarking, performance benchmarking, and strategic benchmarking. The process does not mean only machining process. Any process you can start doing it. It can be a service also, by the way. It is can also come in the process benchmarking. When we talk about process benchmarking, the demonstration of how top performing companies accomplished a specific process, that is what first we have to see. Such benchmarking is gathered via research, survey, interviews and site visits. So that is why you see big companies, as part of their corporate social responsibilities, they always organize industrial tours for outside the company, and they allow the outsiders or even foreign country people or school children to come to their factory and look at their good practices. Okay. So such benchmarking is gathered by interviews and site visits. By identifying how others perform the same functional task or objective, people gain insight and ideas they may not otherwise achieve. Such information affirms and supports decision making by executives. So process benchmarking is, I study for a examination, I prepare notes for the examination, but ultimately I was not so successful in getting marks. I asked my friend, how did he prepare? He gave me some tips. Then on those tips I added my much more stringent norms, and I performed very well. I won in the examination. That is process benchmarking. The process of studying is benchmarked. It has been a long struggle while teaching, please do understand, while teaching is a very competitive business, and many faculty members prepare one class notes and they keep going for several years. But please do understand, as years change by, the input who come to us, the students, their intellectual capabilities also enhances, their concentration level decreases, their self-reading capability increases. They need mentorship and not teaching. So, these are our input change happening. So, for that input change, what we are supposed to do is, foreign universities and foreign teachers or very successful teachers adapt their course. The process of teaching is adapted to the audience. So, they are successful. So, it is better to visit or sit through the lectures of other faculty members who are very good teachers, understand what they do, and then you go back and revise, and that process is called as process benchmarking. What is performance benchmarking? Performance metrics. Performance metrics gives numerical standards against which a client own process can be compared. So, in performance, what we do is, okay, it is like you have a subject like English. So, then you are reading, writing, and then maybe your literature skills, your language skills, all these things are there. So, all these things are rated as against 100, and now what have you done? All these things are given a numerical standard. These metrics are usually determined via a detailed and careful analyzed survey or interviews. You put the marks there. The clients can then identify performance gaps, prioritize action items, and then conduct follow-on studies to determine methods of improvement. Once you start putting marks, okay, once you start putting marks or you start putting values there between 0 to 100, so then you know at which place you are lagging, and those lagging points can be quickly identified, and then we can set standards to look into those and then improvise it. So, this is also a part of benchmarking. What is strategic benchmarking? Identification of the fundamental lessons and winning strategies that have enabled high performing companies to be successful in their marketplace. So, for example, if you see, why is Tata Steel got into Tata Motors? From Tata Motors they are now into Tata Salt. So, you see the bandwidth, you see the spectrum in which they are operating. So, when a new product comes into market, there is a strategic planning going on. So, the strategic benchmarking is also one. Identification of the fundamental lessons and winning strategies that they have enabled high performing companies to be successful in their marketplace. Strategic benchmarking examines how companies compete and is ideal for corporates with a long term perspective. Okay. So, for example, when I was a small kid going to school, Nestle was a company which introduced Maggi as a product which came into existence when I was in school. So, Nestle decided they know that India is going to be a huge market for them, and at that point when I was a kid, in India there was nothing called fast food restaurants or fast foods. So, they came and they started a company Maggi, and what they did was they just went to all the schools where and started distributing Maggi free packet to children who are less than 10 years only. Okay. So, because they knew their customers are going to be children, because these children will have an impact on their family and the family will start buying those products. So, that is how they started having a strategic plan in their business. It was a long, they gave free samples, and it was not once, they used to give it every fortnightly at the school, and this was done for 3 months time. Moment we started enjoying the flavor and the mother started understanding the ease of preparing the food, then Maggi stopped giving free and they started entering into the market. And this was a strategic plan, a long-term plan. Today, Maggi is very well accepted by almost everybody in this country. They entered when fast food was a challenge in the country. Today, it has become part and parcel of our Indian breakfast is Maggi or dinner is Maggi. Okay? So, that is strategic benchmarking. So, what are the essence of benchmarking? The essence of benchmarking is the continuous process. Benchmarking is not only, it is not done only once and then you keep quiet. You have to keep on be revising it, right? You have to keep on be revising. The example what I gave for a teacher is the input keeps on be changing. The amount of exposure for the children today are very high. The YouTube has become a common teaching platform or learning platform for the children, let it be school going or let it be college going. So, YouTubes are becoming more interactive. The message is conveyed in a very attractive manner within 10 minutes. So, now you should understand, if you want to make your class much more interesting than YouTube, how have you to prepare your class? Okay. So, that is, and this every time you have to revise, you have to change. If you keep following the same set of class notes, you will not be able to be a successful and a popular teacher. Okay. So, benchmarking is a continuous process. Today you have achieved something and after some time you have to quickly go back for the achievement whatever you have made, again you do a similar benchmarking, and many a times benchmarking will not be within your reach. You have to do benchmarking maybe from another country, from some different part of the world, maybe some other strategy what a biologist used, a mechanical engineer should use. So, benchmarking should happen crisscross, and benchmarking is a continuous process. Okay. So, we compare to companies. Here I am predominantly talking about companies, but benchmarking can be done across anything. Keeping your house clean, benchmarking can be done. My house is already clean, how do I make it much more cleaner? Again you do a benchmarking. How frequently you can clean the house? Benchmarking. What device you do so that you reduce, or what strategy you do such that you reduce your searching time for key or pen, anything in your room or in your house. So, benchmarking. Okay. So, the essence of benchmarking is a continuous process, please keep that in mind, of comparing a company strategy, products and process with those of the world leaders and the best in class organization. Best in class organization, sometimes if I do it in mechanical engineering, maybe the best in class is not there in mechanical, but it is available in chemical. So, I have to look at these fellows and then do a benchmarking. Many purpose is to learn how they achieved excellence and then setting out to match and even surpass it. So, when you do a benchmarking, it does not mean you are trying to compete with the same company and produce the same thing what the other company produces. If you do that, then you have failed in the business, because that company which is very successful has a set of customers. So, when you do benchmarking, you have to understand and you have to cross that fellow to and go ahead. And when you do benchmarking, you need not do with one company, you can do with many companies. Try to pick up the best out of them and then you try to excel. Okay. Main purpose is to learn how they achieved excellence and then setting out to match and even surpass it. The justification lies partly in the question, why reinvent the wheel if I can learn from someone who has already done it? This is a very, very important thing which everybody should understand today. You should understand this today, because when today's world moves on team excellence, team success. So, when you talk about team success, you should never start saying that I will learn from the zero and start moving it. It is better you take what is existing and you critically analyze what is existing, why did it fail, and you understand the failure points, start attacking the failure points rather than starting it from zero. This is very important. In today's scenario, it is very important. So, that means to say your search for database and getting relevant data has to be very genuine. However, benchmarking is not a panacea that can replace all other quality efforts or management processes. This is one of the tool, but it is not the, by doing this it does not mean all other tools can be sacrificed. Process of benchmarking. So, organizing the benchmark adapts the process to best fit their own needs and culture. Number of steps in the process may vary from organization to organization. There are 6 basic steps which are corely involved for benchmarking process. First, what to benchmark you should know. In the entire house, if you realize in your home, if you realize only placement of clothes is not in line. So, you do not have to do a benchmarking for the entire house. You try to figure out in the entire house the dirtiness is always there, or my house is not a comfortable place to stay because the clothes are haphazardly placed everywhere. So, then look at placement of clothes and then look at their benchmarking rather than house. That is what to benchmark. Understand the current performance. So, you should see, you should record where all do you place your clothes in the house, right. Then you have to establish a plan for it. After doing it, then what you do is you visit some 4 or 5 neighbors who are very successful in implementing placement of clothes in their house. Go visit their house and request them, and then tell them that as soon as somebody enters in their house, a kid enters in their house, what all the list of sequence they follow, and see what is that you follow in your house, and try to match and find out where the mistakes are. So, you should go and study others' house, then learn from the data. So, now you have collected from what is there in your friend's house, you know your house. So, now what you do is you put it black and white in a piece of paper as a comparison table. Put the sequence of events and say where did your child place, where did their child place. So, this is learn from the data, and finally what you do is you try to find out the findings. So, this is how a benchmarking process happens. These are the 6 steps to be followed when you do benchmarking. The levels of benchmarking, there are 3 levels which we already saw. One, internal benchmarking, and then I said competitive or strategic benchmarking with other industries and competitors. Then outside the industry is the 3rd level of benchmarking, internal, then with the other industries, competitive industries, external, and this is with other industries. So, what are the benefits of benchmarking? There are 3 sets of benefits. One is cultural change. Complete cultural change should happen. At some point of time, the Indian products, they were all talked for their performance and quality at one point of time. Then subsequently the name got changed and we were not giving more importance for quality. Today we are giving Indian industries are giving importance to quality as well as cost. We try to compete other products across the globe. Today we have our own USP of Indian products abroad. Okay. So, for having this change made, there has to be a cultural change made within the industry. So, cultural change will be the first big benefit you will get in because of benchmarking. Benchmarking allows organization to set realistic, rigorously new performance strategies, and the process helps conceive people of the credibility of the targets. Okay. So, this cultural change will happen. Maybe in the past we did not have proper recording, but now we will have recording of every part which is getting manufactured inside the factory. Then performance improvement. Benchmarking allows the organization to define specific gap in performance and to select the process to improve. So, performance improvement can happen by finding out the specific gaps. These gaps provide objective and action plan for improvement at all levels of organization and promote improved performance for individual and group participants. The third one is going to be human resource. Benchmarking provides basis for training. So, moment you realize in many of the things in companies, when you do mass production, customized production, you will always see that apart from other non-living resources, human resources is something which is very important. They have to be trained, they have to be multi-skilled, they have to do multiple jobs as and when the time comes. So, basics of training has to be given. Employee begins to see gap between what they are doing and what best in class are doing. Okay, what they are doing and what best in class are doing. So, this tries to give me a gap and human resource learns from that. Closing the gap point out the need for personnel to be trained to learn techniques and problem solving and process improvement. Problem solving skills is something which is lacking today. Problem solving skills, or I will put it as solvers. Problem solvers are something which is missing up today. That is why people always look and say we should have a design thinking. Okay. Design thinking means you have to understand the state of the art, and then you have to excel from the state of the art and start preparing yourself towards excellence. So, today's world we need lot of problem solvers. Outsourcing. In business, outsourcing is an agreement in which one company contracts out a part of their existing internal activities to another company. Maybe the company realize that it is trivial, or they realize that it is not going to improve their efficiency by giving it outside. Third thing is they have a huge challenge in producing the part internally in their company. Fourth, the machinery required and the fixtures which are required may occupy lot of space, and it might be maintenance intensive. So, then the company decides that this parts can be outsourced. So, before outsourcing, the company standardizes the part and it provides every support to the outsourcing fellow so that they try to get a reliable product. In business, outsourcing model is becoming very common today. Okay, lot of academic institutes do not have their own transport cell, they have outsourced. Many of the office related job are getting outsourced. In big institutes, earlier people they were appointed for moving post from one place to the other. Now that is getting outsourced, right? Maintenance of canteen is getting outsourced. So now you see outsourcing is becoming a very successful model in business scenario. It involves the contracting out of a business process, example payroll processing, claim processing and operational and or non-core functions like manufacturing, facility management, call center support to another party. These are some of the outsourcing which are done very exhaustively today. Different outsourcing categories. Nowadays, most freelancers or outsourcing providers will fall into one of the following categories which is listed below in regard to their services that they provide to their client. Some will even fall several of this: inbound customer service, outbound telemarketing, web design and development, SEO and online, sales executive and online marketing, back office administrative support, virtual assistant services. Virtual assistant services are pretty interesting. Today I have a machine here, okay. I have outsourced to an expert and the company is here. The machine is attached to the expert in turn is attached to the company. Moment the machine is attached with internet today, moment the machine finds out any problem, immediately the alarm statement is shared with the expert immediately communicates back to the machine saying that these are the problems, please rectify it, then you can start working. And if it is a major failure, immediately expert reports it to the company so that the company records all the data and they make sure in the future machines they revise the design and then give and then improve the quality of the product. Then accounting and HR management. Today recruitment is completely outsourced for big companies. then marketing and sales support. So today companies realize that I will produce, so manufacture, and then they have sales, and then they have customers. So today companies have come to a level, they say that they will only manufacture, they will not look into the sale. So manufacturing is done, so sales support is something which is very common. So these are some of the different categories of outsourcing which is very commonly used today. Simply put, outsourcing will give away some of your business tasks that can be easily be managed by an independent entity, making life easier for the business owner. Most of the time, as well as being able to pass on these tasks to someone more experienced than yourself, you will also save money against hiring someone locally to do the job. So workflow, your outsourcing option in-house, you can have people in-house itself. That means to say, I am a big industry, so I allow outsourcing in my factory itself, so that I make sure things don't go outside my factory and I get to see all those things in-house. Then infrastructure outsourcing, reduce need for internal technology infrastructure, this is the second one. Then fully outsourcing, reduce efforts and resources, it is fully outsourcing. Then we do operational outsourcing, that means to say, I will give you the machine, I will give you the skill, but you put operators there to run the machine. Expand office without hiring additional staffs is operational outsourcing. So all these outsourcings, these are the workflow generally which happens in-house, then full outsourcing, infrastructure outsourcing, and operational outsourcing. Okay. Outsourcing myth, outsourcing technology is expensive. These are all the myths, please keep it in mind. Going to third party will mean lowering quality. If my data is offset, is of offsite, I would lose control over it. So all these things are myths. You can have a quality check, thorough quality check before the part is getting into your factory. Second thing is, today you can ask the company who is your contractor to be certified for a third party certification of the quality whatever he delivers. For example, today companies are insisted to get ISO 9000, QS 14,000 or BS 14,000. So there are several certificates which are given. If a company follows the procedure, they get the certificate. If they get the certificate, their quality of the product is remarkable. So these are some of the myths. The last part of the discussion what we will have is mass customization. Mass customization is going to be the future. So this is where big capital intensive industries are going to get shrunk down into medium scale industries, and this medium scale industries will further go down to small scale industries. Why? Because today people are looking for mass customization. If you have a capital intensive goods intensive industry, mass customization is difficult. Mass production is possible, cost effective products are possible, but mass customization is a challenge. Though we say that modular concepts can be followed there, but implementing modular concepts at the higher end machines are going to be difficult. So the mass customization is going to be the USP for any product which is developed in the near future. Mass customization is a process of delivering wide market goods and services that are modified to satisfy a specific customer need. For example, you would like to buy a car or a scooter wherein which you would like to decide the steering, handbar, steering, you would like to decide the wheel, you would like to decide the color, you would like to decide the shock absorber, you would like to decide the seat, you would like to decide the storage space. You decide everything and then your decision. So when you do that decision, you will be allowed to pick from a menu whatever is there. And then what you do is you will send that information to the company starts looking into all your requirements, then they do a design analysis, complete design of a bike or a scooter, they show it to you, get your clearance and then start producing it. So today they are looking for mass customization, or the other word people talk about is inclusive society. Inclusive society means we would like to develop products wherein which physically disabled people are also included in your product to use. For example, till the recent past, we have many buildings constructed without the thought of physically disabled people who has locomotive disability. But today government has made it as a mandate that every product, every building should have a provision for visual and locomotive disabled people. So that is mass customization. Okay. Mass customization is a marketing and a manufacturing technique that combines the flexibility and personalization of custom made products with a low unit cost associated with the mass production. Mass customization products may also be referred as made to order or built to order. The approaches for mass customization, if you look at it, no change, change, these are products, and here these are representation, no change, change. So here this you can divide it into 4 blocks. So this is collaborative customization, this is cosmetic customization, no change, but representation change. This is cosmetic, that means to say superficial, change the cover, change the color. Okay. So cosmetic customization. Then this is adaptive customization, this is transparent customization. So these are the 4 different types of customization, which are the 4 basic approaches to mass customization. Depending on the customization of the product itself, it is represented. What is collaborative customization? Collaborative customization talks to the client to help them recognize what they need, to recognize factors that will fulfill those needs and to create customized product following those guidelines. So this is collaborative customization. Adaptive is business that follow the approach of adaptive customization offers one standard product to the customer along with a few customization options. Okay. So this is one standard product you give with some options. For example, you are given a shoe, and in that shoe you can be given a pad which is there, wherein which it can try to accompany some small variation in the foot. This approach makes sure that the product is designed in a manner that it can be customized by the end client with absolute ease. So they do it at their end. So mass customization before was mass production. So now it is one way, it is towards customers, right? This is before mass production. So company produces, the customer has to accept. Now what has happened? Mass customization has happened. Company interact with the customers, they understand what they want, they get into dialogue and they start producing whatever it is. So now you see the amount of flexibility required in the products, in the parts which come inside, in the machines which is used, and the skill which is there with the laborer. Cosmetic customization. Cosmetic customization advertise a standard product differently to different group of clients. For example, a product which is sold in India will have a different way of showing it. When it goes to abroad, they do some customization to get it done. This approach works well when clients uses the same product but wants them to represent differently. For example, today if you see, there are a lot of bottling companies which write the name of the company in their own vernacular languages. The cosmetic customization. Okay. Transparent customization. Transparent customization deals with providing customized product to individual clients without telling them that the product are exclusively produced for them. This approach works in case where the customer does not want to repeat what she needs instantly, or when clients' needs are predictable or obvious. So this is transparent customization. So the advantage and disadvantages of mass customization. Advantage: customer participation is more. Disadvantage: requirement of highly flexible production technology. This is a challenge. Customers are more pleased, difficult in achieving efficiency. Customers, so you can't think of trying to get the utility, mission utility for 80% and 90%, because many a times you have to prepare, you have to put fixtures for the product to be produced. Stronger relationship between company and the customer. Requirements of strong direct to customer logistics systems. So, rather than coming through the service engineer, the company will directly talk to the customer and try to understand what they want. Elimination of scrap quantities, higher warehouse cost will be there. So, when you do mass customization. To recap whatever we have covered in this topic, we have seen what is benchmarking, different types of benchmarking and its level. There are 3 levels. What is outsourcing, myth and reality in outsourcing, what is mass customization and various approaches for mass customization. So, task for the students is try to make a prototype of a pencil pen pouch, right, by understanding customer's voice. Okay. And when you do that, you first have to understand. Second thing what you will do is, you will pick one pouch which is already available and do modifications to meet the above requirement. Okay. And the next thing is, you will pick one best product in the domain of pencil / pen pouch and do benchmarking. Okay. So, if you go back and see your quality function deployment, what we covered, QFD will have benchmarking. Okay. Once you do benchmarking with a competitive company, then only you can try to go, you can produce out. So, QFD, you can go back to the QFD lecture and see house of quality. So, this is a recap about our course, whatever we have studied. So, the following aspects are covered in this course. Product characteristics we covered, product design process and costing we covered, value engineering, creativity, patterning we covered, design for X, rapid prototyping, 3D lab demonstration we showed, manufacturing systems, plant layout, software demonstration was shown, computer integrated manufacturing and reverse engineering, at last competitive management. These were the topics which was broadly covered in this course. Thank you very much.